This DQS Solutions and Staffing 250 edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN, and get your free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. That's right. Get it at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs. We're also brought to you by NYRA Bets. Get your $25 free bet at the Belmont by going to nyrabets.com/SGPN. Promo code SGPN25.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you asked me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome into another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Corey LaJoy. I'm Rod Villagomez, and we are here to celebrate the world of truck racing. It's Truck Night in America somewhere, Cody. The trucks get their own dedicated show, dedicated day, because the Cup guys and the trucks are playing while Xfinity sits home and watches on television. They raced this last year, obviously, and they did it in a super speedway style package, but I think that was enough to them. No. Was it last year?
I don't think trucks haven't been here.
No, not trucks.
Quite some time.
Yeah, they had, last time they were here 2020.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I didn't pick up where you're putting down. Yes, Xfinity was here last year in the super speedway configuration, but they're taking this week off, getting ready for Mexico City. So yeah, full dedicated truck show. Gotta love that.
I think they just decided that was enough. They were like, we don't want to do this again as a super speedway because that was absolutely mayhem. We loved it as bettors, but I don't think they liked it very much. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. But, oh well.
Yeah. Matt Jones already in the chat saying, what's up, Matt? Yep. It's good to see you. It is the okay. Hold on. So let me get this because you know that I love to get it correct.
Did you see? Did you like how I named the dock, Rod, for the truck race?
You did, and then I changed it because I realized that was not the right race of the too damn long. What was it?
Yeah. TLDR. Too long didn't read.
too long didn't read. I don't know the
we always put at the top of the show. We always put the name of the race. So Cracker Barrel 400 whatever last week, and so I went to type it out and I go, holy shit. So I just put in TLDR 250.
I actually, so I didn't know. I've never seen that before in the wild. So it was like, where did he get the TLDR? I don't know.
This is not even the right race.
I was like, good Lord, Cody, what are you pulling it off of the old? Because sometimes Racing Reference will put the old names on it. I was like, are you doing this? Is this the Camping World Truck Series? What are we doing?
It's one of the things the kids use.
Yeah, plus you know me, I'm an old man. I don't use that at all anymore. But it is the DQS Solutions and Staffing 250, powered by Precision Vehicle Logistics. See, I can't even read it right. At the Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan. Super excited to break this one down. Trucks, like we said, haven't been here in 5 years. So there's some drivers that weren't even born yet when the last time they were racing on this track. I'm just kidding. I exaggerate. But there are some very young drivers that have never been on Michigan before. So Corey Heim being one of them, obviously. And, we're going to break down how much we think that factors into this and what we think, as we always do. So, but before we do all that, get all your free picks and podcasts for the Stanley Cup, College Baseball World Series, and NBA Finals on the SGPN app. You can find it wherever you get all of your favorite apps. Well, Cody, before we get to Michigan, there is a elephant in the room that is wearing 2311 colors, and it's set the NASCAR world abuzz, my friend.
It's wearing 2311 and Front Row Motorsports colors. There was another ruling in the antitrust lawsuit today, Rod. So the saga kind of continues. But the U.S. Court of Appeals vacated the injunction requiring NASCAR to treat 2311 and Front Row as chartered organizations. So just a quick recap. They did not sign the new charter agreement that went into effect at the beginning of January 1, 2025. Those two teams refused to sign the agreement. But they got the courts to intervene and say, hey, while we're suing NASCAR about this charter agreement and how we think it's a monopoly and the things we don't like, can you make them treat us like we are chartered in the meantime, right? Because they'd previously been chartered. And so one of those deals where it's like, hey, we'd still like to, and they ultimately want to be chartered. They just want the rules to be a little bit different. And the court said, yes, they need to treat you as they're chartered. That, Rod, guarantees them into every single race over the season. It also gives them the full chartered team payouts. So now that's been vacated, right? So that's been pulled out. But they've got 14 days to ask for a rehearing of that. So really nothing changes today. It continues to just stay in limbo because now, 14 days from now is when that repeal of the injunction, so many words in here, Rod. The repeal of the injunction would take place, but they've got time to appeal the appeal to the appeal of the appeal for the appeal. And so if they do that, then who knows when that date is set and they go through all that. But if they aren't able to get the injunction reinstated by a different court, then they'll no longer be chartered teams, which means that now they're no longer guaranteed to make the race. So if there's more than 40 entries, we've not seen more than 40 entries in the Cup Series in years outside of the Daytona 500. So probably not a big deal there. But what if, right, hypothetically, there is 41 entries? Tyler Reddick, who's chasing the championship, goes out and, wrecks in the qualifying, doesn't lay down a qualifying lap. Suddenly he's not locked into the race. Now he misses the entire race, right? And they're probably going to make a deal and get him in the race with one of the slow cars, but it doesn't matter. It's the fact that he's not locked in. That's definitely concerning. And then payouts are also like a third of what they are for chartered cars for the non-chartered cars. So that's all a bit of a mess and everything, if it gets to that point. But at this point, we're kind of, again, in limbo of who knows what's going on, who knows where this is going. And like we said a long time ago, it's going to be a very long, drawn-out process, and it's just going to continue to, they said yes to us, but they said no to you, and mom said no, so go ask dad, and dad said no, so what about mom? And grandma said this, but Uncle Joe said this, and so that's where we're at on the lawsuit.
So you're meaning to tell me that there's no solution and we are nowhere near a actual decision. It just, to me, when I look at all of this that's going on, right, and I think to myself, we've gone 75 years with NASCAR being a sanctioned body, and now I get the fluid move. I get needing to just sort of innovate and to move with the times, but I gotta tell you, man, when money gets involved with anything, it's just like, here we are, a gambling podcast, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking millions of dollars, like 10 to 15 bucks. When like people lose on our behalf, they're losing like $5. They're losing coffee money, right? It's not, they're putting $5 million down on a whatever, but yeah.
And that's the thing is you bring massive amounts of money like that. And guys like Michael Jordan with the clout and the money that he has behind him, he wants to be treated a little more fairly than you've done for the last 75 years. And so that's the types of things that have created this issue. And, that's where we're at. And JDK saying, all I got to say is don't shit where you eat. Yes. But if they're not feeding you very good, you have the right to say, we need to make sure that this food is not expired, that you're feeding, the quality is there or whatever, however you want to spin that analogy. Yes, don't bite the hand that feeds you, but also make sure what you're getting fed is fair and relative, whatever. So
make sure they're not giving you MREs that when you open it in 1994 have the 1984 Olympic M&Ms in them.
Jeez, those must have been lucky ones, Rod. I think in Afghanistan we were eating MREs that were from Vietnam still. So.
I gotta tell you,
some of that stuff you open and you're like, whatever. It's going down today because I'm hungry.
You look at it and go, well, I got no other choice.
Yep, this is what we're doing. So
it's this
here we
or
go.
starve. But yeah, no, I don't know. To me, like I said, this is all just a big distraction at this point. And I think once this all gets figured out, and listen, I don't think NASCAR can afford to let teams lapse like that, especially teams like 2311 that have money, teams that can cause front row. they're like the little brother going, I'm here too. I want to go with you too, right? Whereas as 2311, obviously, if they pull out of the sport, they got a lot of clout, and I think other teams can go, well, if Michael Jordan can, well, then why can't we? And to a certain extent, I mean, that could spell the end of a lot of different things that we've come to know and love, and so I think this will all come to a peaceful conclusion, and we won't have to worry about anything else past this.
Yeah, that's what we've been saying since the beginning. At some point, it's going to all work itself out. And maybe if this is the tipping point where the teams do actually, and the other part of this, right, is if this injunction holds, NASCAR's now got 6 extra charters. In theory, they could sell those charters to whoever will want to because they're theirs. I think in good faith, they would not do that. Are you going to sell 3 charters out from underneath of Michael Jordan? That's probably not the best idea either. Maybe if this injunction is upheld, then that's where we come to some type of agreement where it's, middle of the road, but more towards NASCAR side or whatever. And maybe that closes all this out sooner rather than later. But again, it's just kind of a saga that continues, and we've probably spent more time on it than we should have.
Probably more time than what it's going to take to actually solve it. So I agree with you on that one. Well, Cody, I say it's time we get to some bets, shall we? I'm all for getting to bets today because, again, it's Truck Night in America. You're on vacation. We've got to get you out of the door sooner rather than later. So let's do that. But before we do, I would like to take this opportunity to tell you about Edge Boost. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. There are no usage fees, no minimums. You can earn cash back rewards and get 100% approval for all betting deposits. Go sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN. And if you sign up this week, you're going to get a free Refs or Terrorist t-shirt. But like I said, try actually going and asking the bosses if you can get a Race Officials or Terrorist t-shirts, because that is obviously more to our crowd. So, if you want to do that, hit the bosses up, but go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs to claim your free shirt. Tomorrow, Underdog Fantasy and DFS version of the show. Underdog is going for the NBA Finals, or going along for the NBA Finals with their extender bonus. Hop in game 1, and the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. We're going to give you all of our favorite picks tomorrow, so come back for those and stay tuned. In the meantime, sign up with our promo code RACESGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code RACESGPN. Betting on the ponies is fun, and betting at the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga with Naira Bets is even better. Sign up today using promo code SGPN25. Get a free $25 free bet plus a $200 deposit match bonus. Whether you're a seasoned bettor or just starting, Naira Bets makes it easy to jump into the action. Exclusive offer is just for the Belmont Stakes, so don't wait. Join now. Claim your free $25 Belmont bet today at NairaBets.com/SGPN25. All right, Cody. Well then, like we said, we are at the Michigan International Speedway. Is it international because it's right next to Canada? Is that what makes it international?
Sounds like as good of a reason as anything.
I feel like that's exactly it. So for this truck race, it is a 250-mile race, which, by the way, Cody, for these guys, it just should be the longest race of their year, right? They do this. They only do 200s, 150s, 100s, 250. That's 100 laps around the. Oh wait, it's the name. It's 100 laps around this 2-mile paved track for 200 miles. The 250. That's another one of those mysteries of why it's called a 250.
Where'd we get 250 from?
I don't know.
Maybe that's the international part of the name for the race, right?
Is it kilometers? Is it 250 kilometers? Am I literally just kind of missing this? Is that where we're going with that?
I'm not real good on the kilometer to mile conversion. So JDK, I don't know if you guys use kilometers up there in Canada. I probably should know that. But I don't. So let us know, I guess. He's in the chat. There are 32 entries for this race, Rod. I do know about that. Carson Hocevar, Michigan kid, back in the number 7 truck for Spire. Of course, he won last time out at Mini Michigan, a.k.a. Kansas, a couple of weeks ago. Ross Chastain is in the number 44 car. That'll be for Nice, or number 44 truck, rather. Luke Fenhouse returns to the 66 for Thor Sport. And Rod, the first of many times we get to see the man, the myth, the legend, the great Corey LaJoie. He's in the truck series. He's excited to race in front of all 12 fans that are going to be in the stands for this race. He is going to be in the 07 truck, Rod. It's now the better truck, I guess, of the Spire cars. This is what I'm going to go with. So there is that. This will probably be the last time we talk about Corey LaJoie on this episode. Unfortunately, Rod, I wanted to bet on him. I really did. But yeah, it was. I had the top 5 in there, and then I kept looking at things, and I was like, I can't do it. I'm going to be rooting for it. I hope he wins, and I lose my outright bets. But can't bet on Corey this week.
Yeah.
And that, my friends, is how you know that I'm not always completely biased. And I am here to give out appropriate picks.
I mean, look, if there's any other way for you to know that Cody bets with his head and not with his heart all the time, it's when he leaves Corey LaJoie on the table. I mean, he brought him up once, and that's the only time he's going to bring him up. So, all right, there is it's 320 kilometers.
It's 320 kilometers, Rod. So
thanks, JDK.
Yeah, 250 makes no sense.
I fired my interns, so I didn't research why this was the 250. I just assumed that it was 250 miles. My bad. I'm sorry. It's been a week. So, all right. Doesn't matter how many miles.
I mean, yeah, in general, that's what that stands for. But that's not always the case anymore, Rod.
Because at least, like we said, when it says like 400 and it's only 100, it's kilometers, and we were like, okay, then that's fine. But yeah. All right, Cody, let's lay out some bets, shall we?
Let's do that, Rod. So just to kind of set this up real quick, Michigan, right? We don't have any track history, really. There was the one race here a long time ago. Most of these guys didn't race in it. Even if you did, hard to probably look at that anyways. The best thing you can look at this year, similar to what we talked about with the Cup Series last year, is we've had quite a string of intermediate tracks, and the Truck Series has actually run on a lot of those tracks as well. So that's what you have to look at is current form. What have you done for me lately? What does it look like on intermediates? We've been to Kansas a couple of weeks ago, Mini Michigan, again, as Ryan over at iFantasy Race calls it. That's going to be the most comparable track. Las Vegas, the third race of the season, is going to be the next most comparable track. But you can look at Charlotte. You can look at Nashville. You can Miami, loosely, right? It's a mile and a half. It does race different. Bristol, they use the intermediate package. You can look at all that. And just kind of the season as a whole after Daytona, Atlanta, obviously. Those don't really factor in as much, but that's how we're getting where we're at, Rod. And that's going to start with Layne Riggs, top 5, plus 140. We're going to run back to this. Cashed it last week. Third place finish in Nashville. Great run. He led 30 laps. He probably was the only truck that was going to compete with Corey Heim to win that race, and he did all day. He looked really good. Fourth place at Charlotte. You toss him to second place at North Wilkesboro, so 3 top 5 finishes in a row. Even though North Wilkesboro short track isn't too relevant there, but how he's finishing is great. It's actually 4 top 5s in a row, Rod, because he finished 31st to Kansas, but he didn't. He actually finished second at Kansas, was disqualified, ends up in 31st on the results sheet, but it was a fast truck, and he was right there battling with Hocevar for the win in that one. Did have a rough day at Texas going back to there, but Bristol was 6th, Miami was 2nd, Las Vegas he was 5th, so 2nd at Kansas, 5th at Las Vegas, 4th at Charlotte, 3rd at Nashville. Riggs has been in the top 5 week in, week out. He's just a hot driver right now. You're getting a good number on this. Again, this is kind of Corey Heim. His numbers are insanely low at this point in time, and as they should be, because if they weren't, we'd be all over betting on him, right? But then you got Ross Chastain in this race. You got Carson Hocevar in this race. Even having Corey LaJoie in this race seems to have brought down the odds on some of these other guys. I was going to try and give out the LaJoie top 5 here because I wanted to, but Riggs top 5 makes way more sense to bet, and he's the better driver in the Truck Series right now. We'll see. We haven't really gotten much of a taste of what Corey can do in good equipment, hardly ever, or in the Truck Series, because we haven't really seen him. He ran, I think, Atlanta last year and had a great race until he didn't. But it's a super speedway, hard to look at that too much. So yeah, give me Layne Riggs top 5 plus 140.
Yeah, I love it. And again, we know that Layne Riggs is fast. He's been fast. He's going to be in the conversation each and every week. And so I think kind of what we talked about yesterday in the Cup Series show, I know that a lot of the same names sort of rise to the top, but when the odds sort of push you in that direction, you kind of have to take them up on their offer because at this point, the same names kind of populate the top 5. And so it's just a matter of which one's got the best number at the time. And this time it happens to be Layne Riggs. So I'm with you on this one. One of the things we pride on in this show and in this entire show, whether it's Cup, whether it's Xfinity, whether it's Truck, whether it's marble races, is keeping you engaged all the way up and down the scoring pylon. And this matchup, you don't see. I don't think I've ever seen, and I don't think we'll probably ever see it again, so I'm going to jump on it while it's here. This is a knockdown, drag-out battle between Dawson Sutton in one corner, Connor Mozak in the other. Who will prevail? I'm going to give the edge here to Dawson Sutton in this one. I mean, it's funny because we laugh and we called Connor Moylesack a while because of the one time that he shed his inner linings on the track and cost us.
It was an expensive one time, Rob.
It wasn't.
You remember those? You remember big bills like that?
You do remember big. And so yeah. So now Connor Moylesack, but it's not so much that we're holding the grudge on him. It's just that if you even look at the overall standings, I mean, this is a battle of 19th and 20th place. Dawson Sutton holds the slight edge in 19th place over Connor Mozak. And so, you know, I'm kind of leaning in that direction, but also the overall average finish for Dawson Sutton, 19, whereas the average finish this season for Connor Mozak, 21.3. Neither one of these guys have track experience, obviously, on Michigan in the trucks. They are both very, very young and pretty much one season into it. But if you look at Connor Mozak, I mean, he's had runs at 20th in Las Vegas, 19th at Homestead, 25th at Martinsville. He did have a 9th at Rockingham, but 22nd at Texas, 18th at Kansas, 16th at North Wilkesboro the last couple of weeks, 23rd and 23rd for Connor Mozak. Dawson Sutton, on the other hand, not too much better. I mean, 19th place in Las Vegas, he got him by like one spot, but he still got him in the end, right? 23rd at Homestead, 16th at Martinsville. He had a 9th place at Texas a couple of weeks back, 15th at Kansas. The last couple of weeks, drive shaft problem at Charlotte. It happens with this 26 car, right? This Rackley WAR race truck. But last week at Nashville, a very respectable 11th place for this 26 truck rather. So, I mean, not to say that Dawson Sutton's on the up, but I will say that at the very least, he's been able to put together a couple of better, I think, races altogether than Connor Mozak. So, I mean, look, this is one where you could probably fade this and be fine if you want, but it's a fun little way to pay attention to everybody on the track rather than just the time. Because you complain to us that we talk about the same 5 drivers every single week, and now I'm giving you other drivers, so you can't complain anymore. So Dawson Sutton over Connor Mozak minus 115.
Yeah, DGen bet of the week, because this is the bet that's not going to be a runaway likely by either driver. You're going to sweat it all day. You're going to be looking at 19th, 20th in running order. This had to have been the 2 guys who set the line sitting around, and they're like, dude, the boss is on us. He wants us to offer different shit. We have to put in different names. Like, what do we do? He's like, my daughter wears 19 in softball. Who's 19th in the standings? Boom, 19th and 20th, putting these guys head to head. That's what we're going with. Like, why else did these 2 guys get matched up? Most random names. There's not even like the Sutton angle would have made sense last week in Nashville because like local team, like maybe we'll try and, drum up some stuff with this Nashville kid in all. No, nothing. It's just whatever. I love it. This is a DGen bet, and those are really fun bets to make.
They very much are. So take that one and run with it and have some fun cheering for the 20th place truck all the race long. All right, Cody, where are we going next?
Yes, we're going to my guy, Daniel Hemrick, top 5 plus 375, Rod. This one, Daniel Hemrick, it's been extremely quiet. He has led, I can count this very quickly because there's not many, 21 laps this season. It's been that quiet of a year for Daniel Hemrick, but it's been a quietly good year. He finished in 4th place last week in Nashville. 8th place at Charlotte 2 weeks ago, so close, right? Had a 4th at North Wilkesboro. Kansas was a rough day, a 10th place finish, not horrible, right? Texas, you could toss that in there, a 2nd place finish there. He actually finished 3rd at Rockingham, He won at Martinsville, 5th at Vegas, 5th at Miami, 13th at Vegas. So it's not all been great, but really, he's not finished worse than 16th all season. A majority of the times he's in the top 10, including he's got 4, 5, 6 top 10s in a row, and 8 of the last 9 races have been inside of the top 10 for Daniel Hemrick. And you're getting plus 375, almost 4-1. This conversation's come up in the Discord. Last year, we took the books to the woodshed on trucks. There were just bets we were hitting every single week. You're getting good numbers on like Heim top 3s. You're getting, that band of Heim and who was in the 19 last
Eckes.
year? I already forgot his name. Eckes. You were getting those bands and you just hit it every week. And it was like, God, we just couldn't be beat. It's not been as easy this year, but you get bets like this where he's a driver that's consistently running in or near the top 5, almost 4-1 to finish inside of the top 5. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe it's an 8th, 10th place finish because you're getting that a lot, but you're also getting a good amount of top 5s. And there's been some comments about, it's a chalk top 5 again. We've had some of those, but he's part of the chalk for the most part, right? And you get guys like last week with Rajah Caruth winning the race that are up in there that upset the apple cart a little bit, right? And he is that type of guy at the number that you're getting at plus 375 for a truck that's been extremely fast. We saw last year with Eckes, it was really fast. He won a bunch of races, led a ton of laps. You haven't quite gotten that dominant, quote unquote, level of performance from Hemrick, but he's just running good races and showing up, being there at the end of the day. That's all you're looking for. It doesn't need to be fancy. It doesn't need to be flashy. A quiet top 5, I'll take it at plus 375.
That's what I love about these top 5s too, is that when you just peg a good driver, just a driver that should be there, and at a number like 375, you have to take it because he's going to be in the mix. He's going to be fighting for it. Does he get there? I mean, again, that's why he's plus 375. But when he does and you're holding that ticket, you are a happy, happy camper. The Ankrum top 5 bit me a couple of weeks ago, and I'm a little gun shy to try to take it again. Bit me for 2 weeks in a row. It was one of the ones that you were cashing almost every single week, right? When he won at Rockingham, 2nd at Martinsville, 4th at Homestead, 4th at Bristol, 4th at Texas, 3rd at North Wilkesboro. Couple of weeks of some pretty bad luck for him. 12th at Charlotte, 17th at Nashville for Tyler Ankrum. But I found a way to get in on him still. And I'm going to take him in a matchup with Ty Majeski. Sing us a song. You're the piano truck driver. Now, granted, the piano's kind of stayed away from him here and there, right? He did have a 6th place finish in North Wilkesboro and an 8th place in Nashville. But 32nd at Charlotte. That is where the keys hit him hard. 14th at Kansas, 10th at Texas, 31st at Rockingham, 33rd at Bristol. His average finish this year, 14.4, and we've sung the praises of Tyler Ankrum all season long. His average finish, 9.2. He's averaging inside of the top 10. He's got 7 top 5s, 8 top 10s, and that win. Majeski's got 6 top 10s, 2 top 5s, no wins. So, again, this is not so much that I think Ty Majeski is going to completely come out and have the piano fall on him, but even if that little Casio keyboard just kind of sprinkles out and kind of knocks his truck askew, I think Tyler Ankrum is still going to be a much better driver on this overall. What about the head-to-heads at Michigan? Actually, these two drivers do have some actual experience at Michigan where they both raced in the 2020 race. Ty Majeski in the 45 Nice truck finished in the 15th position here. Tyler Ankrum actually has 2 races on this track. In 2019, he finished 25th, but he started 3rd, led 3 laps in the 17 truck back in the day. So he had speed, started 3rd, like I said, crashed out, but still led 3 laps along the way. And then in the 26 truck in 2020, started 14th and finished 4th. So he's already got more experience on this track, and he's got a better finish in his pocket. He did beat Majeski the last time they were out, and in 26, the 26 Gallagher truck versus the Nice truck. So you know that these weren't just junk box equipments. This is actually good trucks racing against each other, just like they're going to be doing again this week. So give me my boy Tyler Ankrum over Ty Majeski. You can get that at even money plus 100 over on ESPN.
Yeah, hard to argue this one too much. I mean, it's been well documented on the show how good Ankrum's been this season, and also well documented how not good Majeski's been. I've actually got some more thoughts on Majeski in a little bit, so I'll save those, but I do like this bet and don't really have an argument against it.
Good stuff, good stuff. All right, go ahead and load up your next bet, Cody.
Yeah, next up for me, I'm going to go to Carson Hocevar, top 3 finish plus 140. You can get the Cup Series driver who finished second place in the Cup Series race last week at the same number to finish in the top 3 as you can get for Corey Heim to win this race. That's a little bit shocking and surprising to me. I get the Heim love, but I think they're kind of underappreciating, I guess, Hocevar here a little bit. So you get his top 3 at plus 140. Carson Hocevar, he's the talk of the town right now. He's on fire in the Cup Series. He's carrying all the momentum in the world. He has got a big ego, right? He's a guy that's letting that get to his head and taking it, and he knows he's hot shit, and I think he's going to continue to turn that into good performances. You go back and you look, he's got 2 Truck Series starts this season. Texas did not really go his way. Starts in 19th, finishes in 17th. If you remember, that race was kind of a shit show near the end. I think he got caught up in some stuff. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I'm not too worried about that one. You go to Kansas, he leads 75 laps, wins the race. Now, Heim did have a penalty in that one, along with some other pit road woes. And so, but it doesn't matter, because if Heim wins that race, Hocevar still finishes inside of the top 5. He actually, inside of the top 3, which is what you're looking for here. That's all we need. He doesn't have to go out and win. If this is Heim time, it's the Heim show. He dominates this race, fine. Ross Chastain comes up and dominates this race and wins, fine. Corey LaJoie comes up, dominates this race and wins, fine. All Hocevar has to do is be in the top 3 for a Cup Series guy who just finished second last week, who won his last time out in the truck race. And, by the way, home track. He's a Michigan kid. He's already won a race in the late models in Michigan earlier this week. He's coming in with something to prove, and I think he's going to be top 3 at the end of the day. Again, this is not – you don't have to worry about what Heim does, because it doesn't matter. If Chastain's up there too, it doesn't matter. Just be top 3 at the end of the day. Hocevar can do that at plus 140.
I think I used up all the nice things that I could say about Carson Hocevar yesterday when I took him over Ty Gibbs. And momentum, come on, man. A second-place finish after 24th, 26th, and 34th? There's no momentum there. Sorry.
Well, but that's number. Again, results don't show everything, right? A fast car, according to some in the Discord, he could have won the Coke 600, Rod. Yeah, things have been looking good for Mr. Hocevar lately. Got that win a couple weeks ago at Kansas, a.k.a. Mini Michigan, Rod.
Sorry. I had to, because I had to get it out. I said all the nice things I could say about him yesterday. I had to just get the catharsis out of it and just, make it the balance. The
you
world
feel
balance.
Better about yourself now,
I do.
Rod.
I do. The world had to balance itself out. I had to jump on him a little bit. So, all right. I'm going to go for my next bet, and that is a man who does have momentum. Thank you very much. And that is Rajah Caruth, winning in Nashville last week. Do I think he could do it again? I don't know. I mean, again, we didn't think he could do it last week, but I do think that he can at least put together a solid top 5 run on this one. ESPN has this at 2-1. 365, if you have it out there, has it at 3-1. So I guess, if your book allows it to have a bigger number, then take it, but I'll still take it at 2-1. Rajah Caruth this season, 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s, but the top 5s have come in some key areas. Rockingham, 4th. Fort Worth, Texas, 3rd, right? And then that win at Nashville last week. So in the last 6 races, he's finished inside of the top 10, or the top 5, or top 5, yes, rather, in 3 of those. So not bad. And then he's got 7 top 10 finishes in 12 races. Average finish of 13.2. But here's the thing about Rajah Caruth, right? We talked about him when he won in Las Vegas or that time ago when we cashed a pretty decent sized ticket on him. But he's the kind of guy that is a very streaky driver, and now is the time to jump on these streaks. And when you can still get a top 5, and look, his top 3, I put it in the doc as well at plus 450. This one's a stretch only because you've got guys like Hocevar. You got to battle with Hocevar, Gibbs, Chastain. You got to battle with all these guys that are going to be in this field. However, we do know that Rajah Caruth in that truck is still fast enough, and in fact is a teammate of those trucks that are fast, right? So Spire Motor Truck, or we're talking about Carson Hocevar, he's a Spire. We're talking about Corey LaJoie, he's Spire. Like, we know Spire trucks are fast, and so he's one of those trucks, and he's going to be competing with his teammates, well, at least one of them, I guess, up in the top 5 pretty much all day, in my opinion. And I think this is a great time to jump on his momentum. 2-1 is such a great price for the guy that just won last week at a mile and a half track. So yeah, give me Rajah Caruth top 5 at 2-1. And if you can find it at 3-1, get there. And if you're really feeling froggy and you feel like you want to have a little more of a sweat, top 3 at plus 450.
Yeah, I think this will be a good test for Caruth. We've seen him jump up, win it at Vegas last year. Hey, he won at Vegas, another similar track, right? But being able to continue to put it together race after race, the consistency part of it, that's what we haven't seen from him yet. So that's the part that is in question. But hey, you're getting the guy who beat Corey Heim last week. Corey Heim plus 140 to win this race. He lost last week, right? Again. And that's why we didn't bet on him last week. But you're getting the guy who beat him at these kind of numbers. It's hard to argue too much against it.
I agree. All right, we'll continue down our betting path, but first I would like to take this opportunity to tell you about our friends over at Circa. Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like a VIP for your entire stay. You'll get a limo ride from the airport, a $5,000 tab for stadium swim, and a hotel stay for you and your 11 league mates. You can always get 15% off at all these Circa properties with promo code SGPN15, and you can enter the Ultimate Fantasy Football Contest for free at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. You have heard us talk before about our friends over at Rhythm, and they just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-dedicated patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time with the line and the win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. You know will be. Get your 7-day free trial at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. Tell you about MyBookie.ag. We're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA Finals. And for the true DGens out there, the MyBookie Money Bag. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. There's easy deposit, lightning fast payout using cryptocurrency. It is the crown jewels, my friend, of the WWE. And MyBookie.ag is giving us some fun lines for the WWE Money in the Bank tag team match between Cody Rhodes and main event Jey Uso taking on John Cena and Paul Logan. I mean, listen, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso are minus 165. I'm taking that because I cannot stand me any sort of Paul Logan. So I'd like Cody Rhodes, I am a Cody crybaby, and main event Jey Uso to win the tag team match, minus 165 over on MyBookie.ag. Make sure you head over there now. Promo code SGPN. You're going to get a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's MyBookie.ag. Promo code SGPN. There is a small portion of our listenership that does enjoy the fact that I do bring wrestling into this show, Cody.
I think the key word there was a small portion. But
gotta love it. All right, Cody. There's a large
speaking
portion
of listeners. Nico checking in says, I caught live 2 days in a row, already winning, and it's not even the weekend. Let's fucking go. Rod, I did want to update the people. I know we've got a lot of them subscribed over on the YouTube, listening and tuning in live. 16 away now from that 1,000 mark. So yeah, if you're listening to this, if you've enjoyed some of the analysis, enjoying the picks, click that subscribe button, help us out. And hopefully these bets will help you out this weekend. A couple of long shot top fives. You know, I'd love to dabble in that area. Gio Ruggiero, we're going back to the well. Roddy is 10-1 for a top five. And look, I get it. It's been some chalky results lately. We've not been getting as many upsets, but they do peak in there occasionally. Gio, it's been an okay season for him. He's had good runs, right? 13th at Nashville, 21st at Charlotte. You'd like better. He was on the pole at Charlotte, though, so had a fast truck, looked good early. Drop back, had some issues. 7th place in North Wilkesboro, okay. 4th place at Mini Michigan, a.k.a. Kansas. He has done it at the most comparable track to this just 4 races ago. Texas was not a good day for him. Vegas was 15th, so we need a little bit of improvement off of that. But there's been some good runs mixed in there. That's the kind of stuff you're looking for. It's 10-1 for a reason, but it's 10-1 for a truck that we know can get it done, a truck that has been qualifying really well here lately. And you go back to Las Vegas, they have speed in that truck. 8th place, he started there. He's got to get to the end of these races, but he proved at Kansas that he can do that. That's what we're looking for. That's why I like Ruggiero at 10-1. And then Stuart Friesen, 10-1 as well. Similar story. Not been great, but 2 things that jump off the page to me. You go back to Las Vegas, 6th place finish. He was 1 spot outside of the top 5 at Las Vegas, the second most comparable track to Michigan. He finished in 5th place at Kansas, Mini Michigan. Stuart Friesen, it's not always pretty. Sometimes he just pops up and has good days, but the 2 times he's popped up and had his best days of the season outside of Atlanta, where he almost won, were at the tracks that were the same as this track. The 5th place at Kansas, the 6th place at Las Vegas. That's enough for me to be on Friesen this week. 10-1 for our second favorite Canadian, of course, to JDK in the chat over here, Rob.
JDK is definitely our favorite Canadian that is actually a Canadian. So, yes, definitely shout out to JDK. Yeah, I mean, look, Ruggiero, he's one of those guys, too, where you say, yeah, but, but he's going to be in the mix. He's going to be we're going to be talking about it. The broadcast is going to go, well, yeah, look at Gio Ruggiero or Gio Ruggiero. They're not going to be able to say his name either. But, yeah, and then all of a sudden you're going to be going, yeah, I know, because we talked about him this week.
And, that's the thing, too. He's in a Tricon truck. It's the same as Corey Himes. We know that team has speed. We know he has speed. They just have to put it together. And with a 10-1 bet, that's the thing. He'll come out and qualify on the pole. You be excited, and they don't always get the result that you want. And that's the frustrating part. But we know the pieces are there. We just got to put it all together in one race. Oh, shit, like he did at Kansas a couple of weeks ago. He does that again. You cash it 10-1.
Speaking of putting pieces into place, Ross Chastain. Can he do it? Can he put pieces in place in the Truck Series? We know that you want to talk about momentum. He's had the momentum in the Cup Series. He has won a race within the last month. He won Charlotte in the Cup Series. He finished 11th at Nashville, 2nd at Texas, 18th at Kansas. I know that's not the greatest day, but you talk about 5th at Las Vegas as well. So he's put together some great Cup runs this season. How's he done in the Truck Series this year? Well, pretty damn good. 6th place at Homestead, 2nd place at Charlotte the last time. There was a time last season where we were like, yeah, but, Chastain hasn't necessarily been that fast in these trucks. And it's great that he's in these, but he hasn't been that fast. Not this year. This year, he has been fast. He led 33 laps in Miami. He led 11 laps in Charlotte. So he's been fast this season in the Truck Series. He is actually one of the few drivers that does have truck experience on this particular track. Parked it on the pole in 2019. Unfortunately, he crashed out after leading 23 laps on lap 26, so he did not get to finish. He finished in 30th, actually, which is a really bad position, but in the 45 Nice truck, right? So had speed enough to put it on the pole in this Nice equipment a few years ago. He's still fast enough. In fact, you can argue he's a better driver now than he was back then, and he's going to be giving Carson Hocevar a run for his money. He's going to be giving Corey Heim, as he does every single time he sets in that truck, right? I mean, it's always him fighting with those guys to win the race. In the 2020 or 2012 race, rather, you go all the way back then, in the 08 Bobby Dotter truck, the Mellon 1/Engine Parts Plus truck, he finished 18th after starting 25th in that race. So he's got some experience, like we said, in trucks on Michigan, which is very valuable considering Hocevar doesn't, considering Heim doesn't, and some of these other drivers, most of these other drivers don't. So I think he's going to use that experience. I think he's going to be able to get there. I think all I'm asking him to do is get a top 3 in this particular bet. Top 3 plus 110 over on ESPN. 365 has got this at plus 140. So, I mean, and there's other books actually that have this at minus 110. There's a couple of them that have them at minus money. So that even the books don't know what to do with Ross Chastain, but I do. If you see plus money on a top 3, you take it.
Yeah, hard to argue Ross Chastain. We know these Nice trucks can be fast. We've seen Honeycutt have some good runs this year. Obviously, Hocevar just a couple of years ago was tearing it up in these trucks, and Ross himself was tearing it up for years in the Truck Series in these Nice trucks. Also, somebody else that usually tears it up hasn't necessarily been tearing it up lately, Rod, but I'm back once again on the Ty Majeski train. Different angle this week. We tried the top 5 last week. And he got close, right? An 8th place run, like it was the right thought. Maybe he bounces back. Maybe he looks good. They brought the number down a little bit. The top 5, I just don't like as much. I'm going to go with the top 3 this week for Majeski. It's 8-1, and he'll probably finish 5th because he's just going to improve a little bit more. But the thinking here is, what if he comes out and would it surprise you if Majeski is just a fast truck and comes out and has a great race and competes with Corey Heim and has an opportunity to win this race? It wouldn't surprise me. You don't have to take his outright. You can, certainly, if you want to. But in this case, Heim goes out and does Heim things fine. If Hocevar wins, it's the same thing, right? If these other guys win this race, but he's a fast truck and he's in the mix at the end, all he has to do is finish in the top 3, and he's 8-1 for a driver that can get it done on any given time. I know it's been rough lately, right? But 2 of the last 3 races, top 8. So they're starting to figure some things out. They're bouncing back a little bit. 8th place in Nashville. 32nd at Charlotte, the piano fell out of the sky, right? 8th at North Wilkesboro, 14th at Kansas. You'd like to see better. If you go back to Las Vegas, he had a 4th place run there. He actually led 13 laps on the day. Looked pretty good earlier on there, and just outside of the top 3. I think because you're getting it at this big of a number for a truck that is, and a driver, the defending champion, right, that is capable of, as much as we rib him and kid him, he's capable of just going out there and winning this race 8-1, and all he has to do is finish inside of the top 3. It's one of those bets where if he does not having a good day, you laugh and you're like, oh, the piano fell out of the sky, right? Hit him again, or this happened or that happened. But if he shows up and he's fast, it's not like, shit, I don't have anything on him. You got a little something, doesn't have to win the race. 8-1 for Majeski, top 3 I like.
Well, I mean, you saw how dejected he was after Nashville, too, just knowing that everything that happened and him getting 8th place, it just... You know that ThorSport needs to bounce back. This is a team that cannot continue to struggle like this.
What's ThorSport? What type of trucks do they drive, Rod?
Oh, they drive a Ford, which, by the way, we failed to mention that this is right in Ford's backyard. We did it on the Cup episode, but it is, right?
Noted.
A
Noted.
Ford truck. You think those are going to get rocket powered? You think they're going to inspect all the Ford trucks a little extra this race, or are they just going to let it go?
I don't think they're going to let it go, but I think they're going to do everything they can to make sure those trucks are fast this weekend.
I think I agree with you on that instance. All right, well then, listen. 99 is a ThorSport truck. 88 is a ThorSport truck. Is a Ford truck as well. The let's see, the 99 is a Ford truck. All of these, what do they have in common? Well, actually, even the 34 is, and the 38, they're Fords, and they're Fords. What do all of them have in common? They are all over 11.5. Their truck number is over an 11.5. So the under for this one is like minus 145 over on Caesars. Like under 11.5 is, I think, minus 135, minus 145. I don't know. I laughed at it because this is like everybody, it's Hocevar, it's Heim, it's, this is both of these guys lumped into this one, and they didn't want to get burned by it. But they're leaving so much open spots for this one. 11.5 plus 115 over on Caesars. I mean, again, you get guys that are capable of winning this race. You get Tyler Ankrum. You get Daniel Hemrick, who we think can win this race. Layne Riggs, Chandler Smith, Ross Chastain. Hell, maybe even Caden Honeycutt can accidentally win this race. He's been running as well as he had. Stuart Friesen, you talked him up a little bit. If he can get there, Rajah Caruth just won last week in the 71. You get Matt Crafton, you get Matt Crafton. You get Ty Majeski, and you get Ben Rhodes. I'm sorry, I wanted to find... I was going to give a head-to-head with Matt Crafton, but I could not even pull the trigger on it. So
it's been rough for the old man here lately, Rob.
It has. Most certainly has. But anyways, you're leaving a lot of room at plus money on this over 11.5, and I get it. I get the Heim, I get the Hocevar angle of this one, and I know that both of those guys are going to make it difficult for anybody over the 11.5 to win. But what if? What if Corey Heim has his truck shut off 15 times and he can't cross the finish line? What if Carson Hocevar pisses somebody off and they know that they don't have to worry about him next week, so they punt him into the wall? Like, all that stuff can happen, and a guy that's over 11.5 can win this race.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I looked at this because I was interested. I've been trying to find a number bet that I like in the trucks after we had so much success with them last year, but it's tough. And I was like, under 11.5, okay, like you get Corey Heim, but you get Heim, you get Enfinger, you get Hocevar, you get LaJoie. Those four drivers could win, but on the other side, you get so many other drivers capable of winning, guys that have fast trucks. And I'm already going to bet two of the guys under this number anyway, so I'll be covered there if I want to hedge and take the over on this number also. Obviously, the Heim part of it is the scariest part, but it was scary last week and he didn't win. And it was scary at Kansas and he didn't win. And it was scary at Miami and he didn't win. And it was scary but he didn't win. And that's why I think it's just too hard to bet on Corey Heim right now. And we said the same thing last week and it was close. He almost got back there, but he didn't win. And if you bet him at plus 140, you just lost. And if you want to bet him at plus 140 this week, fine, because he's probably going to win. But what if he doesn't? Because but what if he doesn't part is hit more often than the what if he does part lately. He's too hard to bet. So yeah, going in a different direction, Rod. That direction is Carson Hocevar, plus 450. The hometown kid, won at Kansas, sung his praises already. Plus 140 for Corey Heim. Plus 450 for the guy who finished second in the NASCAR Cup Series race last week. Okay, we're taking Carson Hocevar. Layne Riggs is 8-1. Have we not watched any races lately? Oh, by the way, he's a Ford. He's over that 11.5 number. He is a threat every single week and continuously. And even again last week in Nashville, looked like the only truck that was maybe just as fast, if not faster, than Corey Heim. I don't think Rajah was faster. I think he got the clean air, and Heim just couldn't pass him because we saw it was hard to pass for the lead there. But Riggs was legit just as fast, if not faster than Heim. Continues to be the case. Should not be 8-1. Taking it again. And Grant Enfinger, Rod, coming out of left field. He is the guy that I'm going to take at 18-1. Love me some Grant Enfinger, and I've been extremely impressed at the speed we've seen out of that car a couple of times so far this year. He's had some really great runs, some really great races. Second place at Las Vegas. That jumps off the page to you. Really fast at Kansas. Ends up in 9th place at the end of the day. But he's had a couple of good runs, and I feel like this could just be a Grant Enfinger type of week. So I'm jumping on the Enfinger bandwagon. So Hocevar plus 450, Riggs 8-1, and the Finger at 18-1.
He's another one of those guys where the broadcast goes, and hey, would you look at Grant Enfinger out there in the top 10, running in the top 10 nicely.
And it's usually quiet, right? He just kind of sneaks, and it's all of a sudden it's like, where'd Grant Enfinger come from? Like, oh, he looks fast all of a sudden. And he's a crafty veteran, puts himself in position, and he can still pop up and win these races. You know, we've said that with Crafton for a few years, and we've gotten to the point where it just doesn't happen as much. But with Enfinger, it still happens on the regular, and he jumps up. He just randomly wins a race. The truck looks fast. You got all these Cup guys in the race this week, and crafty old Grant Enfinger comes out and beats all of them. Wouldn't shock me at 18-1. It's worth it.
Speaking of all the Cup guys in the race, 5-1 for Ross Chastain. I feel like they're disrespecting Hocevar and Chastain, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Again, like not.
How does Chastain have a bigger number than Hocevar? That kind of shocks me too. Is maybe it's the trucks, I guess. Like, I don't know, but I'm actually a bit surprised that Chastain's number is this big also.
Well, on ESPN it is. I mean, you can look around. There are other places where it is not at this high, but ESPN has the best number on him at plus 500 at 5-1. I just talked about him a couple of bets ago, right? I mean, he's been killing it in the truck series this year. It's been him, it's been Hocevar, it's been Heim when they're all battling around. It's just, this is one of those instances where you should not be pricing Ross Chastain at 5-1. The guy that just won a couple of weeks ago, the guy that, you know, is so anxious to just break another watermelon that I'm sure all of the, what does Michigan have? Do they have Piggly Wigglies? I don't know what kind of store they have up there, but they're going to clear out of watermelons. I don't know. Canadian stores? I don't know. But whatever the stores that are out there, they're going to get cleared out of watermelons because Ross Chastain is really just looking to do this again. You know, he's just racing for fun in these races, and he really just wants to go out and win, and that's all they care about. That's all that team cares about. So you should not have him at 5-1 with how lethal he can be in this truck series and just as a driver in general. So I'm going to go with Ross Chastain, 5-1 over on ESPN.
Yeah, it's really hard to argue too much against that.
Yeah. Again, it's just watermelons, beware. You're about to get your asses handed to you in this race. So, all right, get out your pen and paper. It is time to go over our bets for this DQS Solutions and Staffing 250, which, by the way, I looked it up. It is actually a 125 lap race for 250 miles. So, Racing Reference, get your stuff straight because it is not a 200-mile race. This is a 125 lap race. So,
there it is. So we got it correct. Andrew checking in. Meyer is the big grocery store chain there in the Michigan area.
Thank you.
Hopefully the Meyers are stocked up on watermelons.
This is what I love. This is what I love about our audience. They're just worldwide, and they are definitely keeping us in check. Or Kroger. So, yeah.
That's right.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Get out your pen and paper. For those of you on the YouTube, we are putting up the graphic now, so make sure you get ready to screenshot. I started you off with Dawson Sutton over Connor Mosack at minus 115. Tossed in a Tyler Ankrum over Ty Majeski at plus 100. Then I gave you Rajah Caruth as a top 5 truck at 2-1. Tossed in his top 3 at plus 450 just for fun. And then I gave you Ross Chastain as a top 3 truck at plus 110. I said the winning truck number would be over 11.5 at plus 115. Said Ross Chastain is my outright winning pick for this race. Cody gave you Layne Riggs. 1 row, by the way. Just want to point that out so all of you guys who can screenshot know that it gets out of hand, but not this time. Layne Riggs, top 5, plus 140. Daniel Hemrick, top 5, plus 375. Carson Hocevar, top 3 truck at plus 140. Gio Ruggiero, top 5 at 10-1. Stuart Friesen, our favorite Canadian that's actually from Canada, it's top 5 at 10-1. Ty Majeski, top 3 at 8-1. Carson Hocevar to win the race, plus 450. Layne Riggs at 8-1. Grant Enfinger at 18-1 to win the race at the Michigan International Speedway. We have reached the end of truck night on this show, Cody.
Trucks are a beautiful thing, Rod. I absolutely love the truck series. Going to be a lot of fun watching them take on this big we could get some pretty exciting stuff on a track this big and this fast. I'm
just excited because we haven't seen it in 5 years. Like this is a definitely new crop of drivers, and they've never been on this before. So we'll see if the veteran people that have been on this track, if that means anything to them.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes it exciting because it is different from when we don't, which is, it can go both ways. We don't have the stats to look back on, but we also don't, have the experience, nothing. Like these guys are going out there. It's fresh. It's new. And you love to see that. And sure can't wait to see Corey LaJoie in victory lane.
Okay. Well, then that'll be it for us, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to send Cody off to his camping trip and have some fun. We'll figure out a DFS episode for you tomorrow. But yeah, Cody, in the meantime, we should let everybody get to bed and let you get back to vacation.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Rod. Glad it worked out to get me on betting episodes. Have fun tomorrow on the DFS episode. I won't be there, but I'll be back next week. Make sure you join Rod tomorrow. Go over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, help us out. We're so close to that 1,000 person mark, so we appreciate it. And follow me, Rod, over on the X at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff there. And Andrew's first time ever seen a truck race in person. Hell yeah. That's going to be a blast. Enjoy, Andrew. It's going to be a lot of fun. Have a great time. Good luck. See you guys next week.
Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Linking about everything I got going on, whether it's here. The back road is going on right now. Unfortunately, like we said, scheduling issues were there, but they're talking now. If you missed it, go back and watch it on their YouTube. I'll be with them next week during Mexico City, so check that out. Also, the Red Blacks are playing now. I'm going to catch them on delay, but my new show, the Wood Cookie Sawcast, my new old show, go check that out next week as I break down this game and go over the next week. For the Ottawa Red Blacks of the Canadian Football League, all kinds of fun stuff there, right? Love you all. I'll see you tomorrow for DFS. We'll have some fun with that as well. And until then, let's go racing and let it ride.
Through the darkness, there is